Happy Tuesday, guys. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. Your girl Janice is live. What is popping, guys, tonight? I am coming to you live. I feel a little rushed. We had our client calls tonight, and I'm like, I've been meaning to go live with y'all for a minute. I haven't been live in a long time, which is probably all of like over a week. And so that's a long time for me because I'm used to going live several times a week. But I'm getting back on it and we're here. What is up, everybody? Hello, 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 hello. As you guys are coming on the live, drop in the chat your city that you're logging in from. I'm logging in from Queens, New York. So shout outs to all my New York City people. Today is the last day that we're having a sunset at 8 p.m., which is very sad. Our sunsets are absolutely gorgeous here in New York City. So go ahead and drop in the chat where you guys are logging in from. My name is Janice Fredericks. I'm the retail genius online, and I help entrepreneurs open beauty supply stores in their communities. My journey started back when I was actually 24 years old. I know I still look 24, but it was 15 years ago, 16 years ago at this point where I started my store in my community because I didn't like the way we were treated in our beauty supply stores. I simply didn't like it. And I also at the same time wanted to be a entrepreneur. And this was at a time where it wasn't popular to be an entrepreneur, mind you. But I knew I wanted to work for myself. I was a former corporate girly. I was working in finance at one of the largest investment firms, arguably in the world. I also worked for U.S. Treasury Department as a national bank examiner. And so I had the resume, I had the degree, I had all the things to keep me on the path of being gainfully employed. But I also knew at the same time God wanted more for me. So if that is you in your situation, you feel like you are gainfully employed, it is not bad where you're at, you're doing well, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat because I felt the same way. I felt the same way. That's crazy. Can y'all hear me now? I was talking my head off just now, y'all. And I'm not about to repeat what I was just saying. I'll repeat a little bit of what I was saying. I was saying, welcome everybody to the live. Um, Drop your city in the chat. Drop your city in the chat. I was telling you guys I'm coming from New York City, Queens, New York. This is where I opened my beauty supply store. My first one. I opened it actually in my hometown, Queens, New York. And my reason of opening my store was because I was shopping at an Asian-owned store for a very, very long time. I was shopping there, my mom was shopping there, and I always noticed that we did not get a good experience, and we spent a lot of money. And typically, when you spend a lot of money at high-end stores, Saks, Nordstrom, wherever you go, you get some type of experience, all but the beauty supply store. And I wanted to change that. I wanted to change the fact that I could spend so much money in establishment and still feel lackluster, still feel like a transaction. I wanted to change that. I wanted to particularly open a beauty supply store because I knew I wanted to do something that I could be passionate about, that I could be very interested in, that it wouldn't feel like transactional, like buying real estate or selling life insurance or something like that, right? Just for an example, there ain't nothing wrong with real estate or selling insurance, but I knew I wanted to be into something that I could be passionate about and wake up and be excited to do it, fall asleep and be excited, right? Because that's what life is supposed to be, right? We should be excited about what we're doing day to day. And I knew that when I was working at corporate, I was working in finance at the time. I was working for the largest investment bank, arguably in the world. And I also worked for the U.S. Treasury Department as a bank examiner. So I had the good resume. I had the business degree, right? Like many of us. So I was in a very comfortable place. And I could get any job at any investment firm. But again, I wasn't fulfilled with what I was doing. I wasn't fulfilled at all. And it gave me a lot of anxiety to the point where my doctor prescribed me Xanax. And that's what really pushed me out the door of being a corporate girl, was the fact that I would have to be on drugs just to survive the day. And I knew that wasn't God's best for me, right? And so that's what got me thinking into what it is I want to do for myself and own for myself, that I could be excited about, that I could be passionate about, that's something that could drive me to wake up every day and feel happy, fulfilled. That is when I found myself again in my local beauty supply store, spending my last coin, come on, and at the same time, that it was my aha moment, because I'm like, there's all these other Black women in here. We can't even get our questions answered. We can't get any type of service, but we spend so much money. Black women spend $15 billion in beauty every single year. And that's just here in America. That's not a worldwide number. We spend $15 billion with a B. I want y'all to think about that. Because even if we got a fraction, 10% of a billion went to Black-owned beauty supply stores, how that would change the game. And that's exactly what we have been on a mission to do for the past 8 years that we've been in consulting and helping people open stores and changing lives and creating generational wealth. Is that there's no reason why Asian and Arab-owned families are able to make millions off of this industry and off of our money, essentially, and be able to pass down generational wealth to their children in an industry where Black women spend the most money. Like, that just didn't make sense to me. And it still doesn't make sense. And that is why this mission is so important, why it's so impactful, and why I believe every Black woman should have a piece in this industry, not just from a product standpoint, but from a standpoint of ownership, where we own the shelves, not just the products. We're no longer fighting for shelf space and asking Target and all these other corporations to give us a seat at the table, when you're literally able to build your own table by owning your own beauty supply store. That way, Black women don't have to fight to have their products on shelf. That's exactly what I'm just telling y'all what I did. I'm just telling y'all what I did. I opened my own beauty supply store in 2010 at a time where we were just entering the natural hair care boom, right? So when I say we were just entering, I'm talking about Jane Carter. I'm talking about Carol's Daughter. I'm talking about Mixed Chicks. All of those names were very new emerging names, and none of the big box retailers were putting these brands on the shelves yet, right? So this is before that boom. In my store, we literally sold, I would say, 80% natural hair care products. And that's because we had all of the hard to find, really good organic brands in our store. And people would literally travel from Pennsylvania, from New Jersey. They was traveling from all over to come to our store because we had those hard to find items. Again, this was, they weren't in Target yet. There was not in CVS sales. They weren't in any of those stores. And we made a lot of money. Like, we were shipping internationally tens of thousands of dollars worth of beauty supplies, because that's how hard it was to get to. Like Hairfinity pills at the time. I don't even know if y'all remember. Hairfinity pills was popular. Hairfinity pills. Like, and so we were just thinking outside of the box. We had no idea it was going to blow up, but we were just thinking, how could we serve Black women at a high level in an 800 square foot store in Queens, New York? How we able to, she said, definitely need to own the table. Yes. How are we able to do something like that? How can we do this? And it was simple because we are our own customer. You know, we are our own customer. No one knows it better than us. And so that's how I feel right now in 2026. Like no one knows it better than us. Now I will tell you, I done seen the Arabs come up. The Arabs are coming up. They are coming up and they are doing business better than the Asians did. They still non-black in my book, but they are coming up and they're doing business at a better level than the Asians did. I think they're just learning from their mistakes and they are literally taking over a lot of the Asian-owned stores. I got another video about how the Arabs are taking over the industry. And if we don't catch it fast, if we don't catch this fast, they're just going to replace them. They're just going to completely replace them. And we still going to be at the bottom of the barrel. If y'all don't wake up and be able to raise your hand and tell people, I have a Black-owned beauty supply store in the community. Because right now, while we have this boycott, I call it the Black wealth transfer, right? Because we don't want to be negative. But at the same time, if we don't have the stores for Black consumers to shop at in our communities, they're just going to go back to where it was going. Because they're not going to have a choice because we don't have the stores. And that's why we are doing this push for y'all to be able to get the information to open the stores. Right? That's why we're doing all this. Okay? And so, guys, I'm going to drop in the chat what we are doing next week. I'm going to drop in the chat what we are doing next week. We're doing a 3-day challenge, a 3-day startup challenge next week. I had already sent this out to my email list, and I'm sending it out to you guys today. I'm going to drop the link in the challenge if you guys want to join us. Right? If you guys want to join us, we're doing it next week. It's going to be 3 days live with me where we are going to be talking about what it takes to actually open a beauty supply store. And I'm going to be breaking it down 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We are doing a 3-day startup challenge. So in 3 days, 3 powerful days, 3 powerful evenings, I'm going to be walking you guys what that process looks like. Okay. The link is in the chat. If you guys are watching me on Instagram, you can comment the word challenge and I'll send you the link. If you're watching me on Instagram, you can comment the word challenge because you won't see the link in the chat. So if you're watching me on Instagram, you can comment the word challenge and I can send you a link. And if you're watching me on YouTube or you're watching me on Facebook, the link is in the chat for you guys to join the 3-day challenge. But in 3 days, guys, we're going to get you off of the starting line so that you can work your way towards the finish line. So if you're interested in that, we have the challenge happening literally next week, guys. Next week is going down. Okay? So that is what I have for you guys tonight. I'll be back on live soon. These lives, like I said, I try to be as consistent as possible, but y'all know I have 5 kids. So some evenings I really want to show up and go live and talk with y'all, and then the kids are like all over the place. So I'm gonna be back on live soon. I'm not gonna put a day on it, but I'll be back on live soon, especially on YouTube, guys. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Retail Genius, and I'll see you guys inside the challenge next week. Have a good night.